let's dive right in. So yesterday, I don't know what you've been doing, but it was beautiful weather. And what happened was we have a beautiful front garden. It's all new. They designed that all last year. And so the garden had to be done, right? So me with my girls, we have been creating it and now it's really beautiful. So the garden looks perfect. And I was thinking like, I really desire the garden to look that way, right? I really desire that. And so usually what it was like I desire my garden to look that way, but I wouldn't like take the aligned action in order to get it, whether it is help, but it was like the done deal. And we want to talk about this simpleness of this example. Why? Because it states clearly like what does it look like in reality, right? So you desire something because they want to keep on talking about yesterday. So you desire something, and now it's the aligning with it. Many times you think about it, you like fantasize about it. It is a great idea, all of that stuff, right? But how to get the result? How to get the result? There really is no shortcut. There just isn't. So yesterday we talked about you need to decide. It is yours, right? But that's just the first part. You need to make a very, very firm decision. And the second part is really to start aligning all of who you are with that. Now, alignment means how do you show up? So if I am the one, just keeping it with the garden, who always says, I don't like gardening. Like, I don't like it. It's not for me, but I do desire a nice garden. I need to shift something. I either need to get help and get into a space where I feel comfortable in asking help, paying something for it, or I have to get into a space where I do it myself, right? One or the other. But it's about changing your perspective from I don't like gardening into the person who loves to have a beautiful garden, and how you're going to do the alignment game is up to you. But as long as you keep on like talking about the old stuff, you desire the new. Think about it. You desire really that thing, but you keep on talking about that old part of you. I don't like garden. I am so this and this and that. And then you expect to have a beautiful garden. So it will not happen. So you have to be like, second step is deciding. Next step is becoming very aware about where you see it all happening in your life. Where do you see yourself showing up in a way which is not a match with what you desire? Because you have to become that match with what you desire. Otherwise, it will never come into your reality. And you keep on wondering why that person is receiving that and why that person, it's because they are no longer tolerating, no longer available, but literally changing how they show up in life, their being, what words they use, but more importantly, how they align their action. So that was part just to awake you. Hi, everyone. It is working. I can see it now. Anyway, I'm going to see what they say. And in the meanwhile, yes, share the hearts. I love them. We love getting in this practicality of the how-to, because we know you kind of need that concept, that conceptual thinking, so you get what we are talking about. But then you're always wondering, oh, how do I change or shift or ignite or transform this in my reality? And so we want you to get that. It's like this necklace with all these little braids. So it has all little braids, and you just start with A, which is the firm decision making. Like, it's done. I'm going to have that. I'm going to create it no matter what. I don't care how long it takes. I'm going to do what it takes until it's there. It's that kind of energy. And there's no force in that. There's just such clarity that there's no other options available. We talked about that clearly yesterday. And so now the next step is that you're going to look yourself in the eyes and become utterly vulnerable and honest with yourself. Because sometimes you have the perception you're already showing up like that person. We get that. We see how you try to do that. We see and we love you for that. But at the same time, we have to be honest and clear. If you don't have the results and you're not in the energy of it will happen anyway, it's done, it's coming quicker, it's almost there, I can feel it coming, that kind of energy. Like, you already know it's done. There's no thinking in your mind like, what if it will not work? What if I'm the one not receiving this? It's only for, like, that kind of, because it's just not in your energy field anymore, because you already know it's done. When you're in that state, it doesn't matter how long it takes, because you know it's done. And so that is the most important part of the puzzle, that you know it's done. Because when you know it's done, there's no worry, there's no fear, there's no not feeling confident about the outcome, no trust. All of that is gone, because you already know. See, this is an intimate inner game of you. And we want you to get that that is the work, and has been the work all along. Now, some people think with only visualization and good feeling, you will get into whatever you desire, but you miss a strong and most important part of it, which is the joy of inspired action, which is the joy of feeling drawn to this and this thing, of doing this. Like Sigrid yesterday, she felt drawn to do the gardening, right? She's like, she will tell her neighbor, I don't really like it and all that. And then she catches herself and she's like, okay, I'm going to shift this, because I do love to have that most beautiful garden. So if part of it is me doing it myself, if part of it is me realizing next year, I will ask a gardener to do this for me. Right? So it's not about the specific action, it's about your willingness to do what it takes in order to get the result, not from pressure, not from force, from crystal clarity. It will happen. But the alignment part, if she would have been like sitting on the couch, looking at the garden, thinking about it, talking to the neighbor about it, talking to the people, like all the people coming, like all of that, she would talk about it for ages. Nothing will change. Look at your life. Why do things not change? You talk about it, you interact with it, but in a non-effective way. We want you to get that this is an effective way, that the energy of alignment is very powerful. It's crystal clear. You don't worry anymore. Now, in order to get there, you need to do the inner work, meaning releasing all of the, it's like a discovery. It's like an adventure, going inside, seeing what's still there, what old beliefs, what energy patterns, like emotions going on, what is going on within you, what needs to be released in order to make up space for the new to be activated within you, for the new to be entered. Now, and that is the place where the alignment gets into place, because now you are hooked into that vision, and now you're going to move into the direction. Because if you don't shift anything, you will see little results. Don't think that people who create massive results are doing that because they're sitting and they're not doing anything. They're usually doing a lot of inspired action all day, every day. Just saying, it's not just in these small moments that you feel drawn. They usually live lives in which they are plugged in all the time, and they're taking that massive inspired action. It doesn't feel like work. They want to have this active, creating full life. And so should you. If you feel uninspired, if you feel unfulfilled, this is the problem. The problem is you're not like getting enough energy flowing through you, giving it into the reality by doing an action, by doing something with it, whatever it is. Action can be talking, action can be thinking, action can be anything, as long as it is addressed, but it's not thinking about it. It's thinking in structures, how to create it, for example, or talking about it in the sense of, how will I get this into? So just think about it's the effective thinking. It's the effective tuning into emotions. Releasing for the releasing sake of it is not very effective. Releasing because you can feel it's in front of you or between you and the thing, very effective. We want you to get that living in the now is the most important part. Because if you trust that out there will happen anyway, and you don't have to do anything other than listening in right now, shifting what needs to be shifted, aligning and taking the inspired action. So if you're still in the mode of waiting or maybe postponing of all of that, sometimes it's just not for you. Be clear about that too. But if it's something you desire, sometimes you need to move through the resistance in order to get yourself the result you truly desire. Sometimes it's about giving yourself a break. And sometimes it truly is about massive aligned action, about going beyond that glass ceiling where you're bumping into all the time, moving through it instead of stopping every time you're there. It's like, no, 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 you're capable, you're powerful, go beyond this point where you can feel your like, it's almost like your barrier, right? It's the barrier where you hit to. This is the ceiling. You have that with everything, with relationships, with money, with standard in life, where you get your groceries, all of that stuff. You have that baseline. If you want to go through that, you have to be very intentional, clear directive, and take the massive inspired action. And it will take new awareness, new focus, and crystal clear alignment and focus in order to move through that. So don't think you can do 10 things at a time. Pick that one thing, because if you want to break through that ceiling in relationship, in money, whatever, it needs your attention. It doesn't need to be everywhere. If you do that relentlessly, you can see massive results happening in your life very quickly. And that was that. Hi, everyone hopping on. So what did you get out of that? Please share. I love that. I really enjoy people sharing what was the main focus point, because it's fun to see that many people get the same stuff, right? So where are you around that thing? Are you waiting? Are you hoping, wishing? I know I do the same. Sometimes we just hope and wish. It will magically happen, right? It usually doesn't. It needs your attention. It needs your focus, and then it needs you to be in line with that, meaning showing up in life, doing the thing. And sometimes it feels like nothing changes. That is when you hit that thing. Keep on going. That's the key. If you hit the ceiling and you feel like, I've been doing it like for a long time and nothing works, it's like, okay, do it a little different, because what you have been doing has been maybe effective, but up till now. So you need to figure out a new way to move through this. Look at people who have the results. See what they do. Copy paste their energy. It's simple. You don't have to figure it out all yourself. When you see someone in a loving relationship, you feel the energy. Now, so you're going to be more intimate with that energy, even if you don't have the relationship. But if you're still 75% of the time talking about it in a different way, and only 25% of the time you're honestly in that vibration, what do you think will happen? If you go over the 50, you can feel it coming, right? And so we want you to get that the intentional thing about it, intentionally tapping in and holding that high frequency, is way more powerful than all the negative thoughts, all the dense emotions, all of that. So just get that if you start to become more intentional and start amplifying it in your life gradually, it's not about bam, everything at once. It's like steps, like the beats they showed, right? One step, one step, one step. So you just keep that thing in front of you and you move whatever's there and then move through it. Anyway, that was that. If you haven't been on YouTube, yes, subscribe, because that will be fun for me as well. On the channel, I will share there, I will share these videos and more. And I will talk to you all tomorrow. Have an amazing day. Share what you got out of this video. Much love. Bye.